guys, my name's Ellie. Welcome back to another video, and I'm gonna be doing another one of these videos because let's start that again. Anyway, you did enjoy my last video, I think, because it got the same amount of views or even more views than one of my that I posted like for a week, and it went down pretty well. So I think I'm gonna do another one of these, and let's just see how it goes. And it's basically me just doing 6 riddles that only 2% of extraordinary thinkers can solve. So please put in the comments what you think will happen before it shows the answers. And I'm just going to try test how smart I am, which is not going to go down well. But let's get on with the video. And yeah, so it's by Bright Side.
6 riddles that only 2% extraordinary thinkers can solve. When we find ourselves in unexpected situations, it's hard to know what to do right off the bat. Do you think you can get yourself out of any challenge possible, no matter how strange it might be?
Yes.
This guy certainly knows what it takes. His name is Charles, and he's quite an extraordinary individual. He's overcome tons of obstacles and pulled through a lot of difficult situations throughout his life. Do you have the same sharp wits as our friend Charles here? Let's see. Riddle number 1. Charles was an exceptionally bright kid, but for some reason, his teachers always assigned him the most impossible tasks in school. Perhaps they wanted to nurture his intellect, or maybe he just wasn't their favorite student. Anyway, here's one of the brain busters that they gave him. Can you correct this flawed equation without changing the numbers or their position in the equation? You have 15 seconds to do it.
8 plus 8 without changing the numbers or their position in the equation. Times 8? Oh no, wait, what? What? I'm so scared. Get it. Can you make the following? Yes, show your answer. Yes. Look at it upside down. 16.
Numbers add up. Way to think outside the box, right? Outside the board?
I am so good.
I don't know.
I'm so
Riddle
good.
number
Charles,
2.
I've just beaten you.
As a teen, Charles always loved hiking in the woods by himself. One day on one of these hikes, he accidentally fell down a 100-foot deep well.
Oh.
This is an ad for a project management tool called Monday.com. This is
oh
what
my
it looks
god, I swear like every good bit and advert just comes in every video.
To get out of this watery trap, he climbed 10 feet every single day.
Yes.
But while he was sleeping at night, he slid back down 6 feet. Charles eventually made it out of that well. The question is, how many days did it take him to pull off such a feat? Time's ticking.
10, 14 minus 12, 14. I don't know. I'm just gonna say, I know the answer, it's 24.
It took Charles 24 days to get out of the well.
Oh my god!
He had a
That was
backpack
just
with
a
some food and drink.
Guess. Wait! No! I actually got it! How? What? I just guessed 24,
so
like,
hunger
legitimately.
wasn't an issue. He gained 10 feet a day,
oh my god, I'm
but by the
so
morning of the
good.
next day, he had lost 6. On the morning of the 24th day, he was 96 feet up. With just 4 more feet to climb on day 24, he easily made it out before the sun went down.
I am so good.
Ow,
I am so proud of myself. No, my brain doesn't hurt because I got the answer
Riddle
right.
number 3.
Yes, riddle number 7.
When Charles was 20, his friends decided to prank him.
Okay.
They kidnapped him, stripped his clothes off, and left him in a room with...
Oh my god, this is harassment. Oh my god.
No windows, a solid concrete floor, and a locked door. Sheesh, is this a prank or a crime?
A crime.
Anyway, on one of the walls, Charles found a note that said in order to escape, he needed to get the ping pong ball. Okay, cryptic. The problem was that the ping pong ball was lying at the bottom of a 3-foot pipe sticking out of the floor in the middle of the room. His arms couldn't reach the bottom of the pipe, and there were no objects around that he could use either. Yet, our brainy friend still managed to complete the task. How did he do it? You have some time to think things through.
He tipped the pipe upside down. He sucked it out. Like, you know, you like put your mouth in it and then you just suck it out. That's what you gotta do. You need to kick it over or something.
Well, that was a tough one, wasn't it? With limited options, Charles cleverly decided to pee into the pipe. That way, the ball would float up enough for him to reach in and grab it. I just hope he
They
watched
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. When you're
Riddle
not
number 4. With intelligence like his, Charles became a successful and wealthy man. But there was still something missing in his life, and that something ended up being true love. But he met his soulmate, a woman named Irene, and the lovebirds soon got married. Unfortunately, it turns out that Irene was a conniving gold digger.
Okay, 1 minute. Why does she look so angry? Oh my god, you gold
She
digger,
decided to
you
try and
gold.
poison her husband in order to get all his riches.
Wow.
Charles knew about her scheme, so he only ate the same food that she did. One day, she offered him an apple, but he said he'd only eat it if she cut it down the middle and split it with him. So she did, but Charles shortly afterwards dropped to the ground while Irene stood there perfectly healthy. Fortunately, Charles survived, and Irene was arrested and sent to prison for this murderous attempt. So that begs the question, how could she poison her husband when she ate the same exact apple and didn't take any sort of antidote beforehand? Your 15 seconds starts now.
Maybe she didn't eat it at the same time as him. Maybe she had the poison in the seeds. Maybe he didn't eat the whole thing. Maybe she poisoned one half and the other half wasn't poisoned.
Like we said, Charles knew his wife was trying to poison him, so he'd been taking a universal antidote every morning. This poison, though, turned out to be extremely strong, and that's why he just ended up in a deep sleep. And when it comes to Irene, she simply poisoned one side of the knife. So while she was cutting the apple, the poison from the knife ended up on Charles's half and not hers. Now that's a femme fatale. Riddle number 5.
I guess it is. I mean, I kind of got it a bit right, like by saying that half of it was and half of it wasn't. But I'll give myself
Charles
half
made
of
his fortune as a famous chemist and pharmacist. He even created a cure for one of the most fatal diseases out there. His co-workers, Alex, Nicola, Michael, and James, all envied his talent and success, and each one was ready to kill him in order to steal the formula for this revolutionary.
Okay, is it just me or are those red eyes freaking people out? Because that's freaking me out.
Cure. Poor guy. Everyone wants to waste him. One evening, as Charles was finishing up some work in the lab, one of his colleagues walked in and stabbed him in the stomach. Charles recognized the person and knew he had to leave a hint for the police in case he didn't survive. So he quickly grabbed a piece of paper and wrote down the numbers 28, 27, 57. Shortly afterwards, he passed out from blood loss and probably would have died if one of the security guards had not found him and called an ambulance. Charles managed to survive, but as fate would have it, he had hit his head pretty hard on the floor when he fell unconscious. The blow put Charles in a coma, so the police only had his note to help them find out who had tried to kill him. Obviously, the suspects were the 4 co-workers since they were all in the lab that day and each one had a motive. So, which one was it? Alex, Nicola, Michael, or James? Let's put 15 seconds on the clock.
I think it was actually Nicola, if I'm being honest. Because she's the only female.
The thing you have to remember is that Charles was an esteemed chemist. The numbers that he wrote down to help police come from the periodic table of elements.
Periodic table.
Number 28 is nickel, which gives you Ni. Number 27 is cobalt, abbreviated as Co. And finally, the 57th element is lanthanum, which is La. Put them together and you get the name of Charles's attacker, Nicola.
I knew it! I'm so good!
Riddle number 6.
Not good at solving the actual thing, but
Charles
I'm good at guessing.
wasn't just a genius. He was like something straight out of an action movie. because he managed to cheat death yet again and woke up from his coma after the trial. Eventually, he grew old, retired, and decided to spend the rest of his life in a cozy little cottage outside the city. Charles never left his house. He got his letters from the mailman, his groceries were delivered to him by another guy, and a different man brought him his daily newspaper.
Yes.
One Friday, the mailman came to give Charles his letters and found him dead in his kitchen. He immediately called 911. The investigators could tell from the get-go that this was a murder, so they carefully examined the crime scene. They found a couple bottles of milk, a loaf of bread, some pills, keys, and Tuesday's newspaper on the table. The only people that had contact with Charles were the mailman, the food delivery guy, and the newspaper deliverer. So, they soon became the primary suspects. Do you know who killed poor Charles? Get to thinking, detective.
Why would... I think it was the guy with the newspaper, because you wouldn't order pizza at that time of day. I wouldn't think so. He was the daily guy with the newspaper.
It was the newspaper delivery guy that took Charles's life. Maybe you caught the fact that only Tuesday's newspaper was lying on the table. The newspaper guy didn't bother bringing Wednesday's or Thursday's paper because he knew Charles was dead. And that's because he killed him. Poor Charles. Poor Charles. The guy lived a heck of a life, wouldn't you say?
Why am I so good? It hurts. It hurts me
How many of these challenges did you manage to crack? Tell us in the comments section below.
One.
Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family to find out how many of these riddles they'll be able to solve. Stay on the bright side of life, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, just to say, I couldn't have got 7 because there wasn't 7 on them. But I really enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did enjoy it. Please hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and comment below what you thought these answers were before you saw them on the thing. So there's lots of them on here, and I do loads. There's like 7-second riddles, there's these bright side ones, they're really good. Comment if you want me to do more of these, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.